Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. I hope everybody's having a pleasant day. It's been a while since I've done a video, probably almost 3 months. Kind of dropped off the face of the earth. Going through my own struggles, my own understanding, deep in the Bible and reading. A lot of things have come up that have caused me a great deal of conflict myself between gods of the Bible. Who are they? What are they? Are the gods of the Bible the true, supreme creator, the Spirit, God of light? The Bible tells us that the children of Israel are a light unto the Gentile, and that the only way that the Gentile can come to their God is through them. And the thing is, as I read this Bible and I tear it apart, I know that what I teach is absolute. Just from the interaction that I have when I meet with others at the grocery store, at a coffee shop, standing in line at a fast food restaurant, or even a restaurant. For me, it's very easy to engage with somebody about parables. Generally, I started off with a question because I'm trying to get people to engage. And you can't get somebody to engage with you about what the Bible's saying if you just go shoving scriptures right down their throat. So you have to make them active in the conversation. So I'll say something like, if I'm talking to a black person, for instance, I'll say something, I'll ask them, excuse me, can I ask you a question? Most will say, sure, yeah. And then I'll make reference to the Bible. I'll say, well, in the Bible it says that Jesus, or Yeshua, was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And in the Bible, they make reference to the Gentile as goats. And I'll ask them, could you tell me what the difference is in these two races, or two kinds of people, or what separates Israel, the Jews, the Hebrew, from the Gentile nations? It's very simple. Some have the Spirit on them, but most in this plane of existence do not. God's children are referred to as sheep because of their woolly hair. Goats are considered Gentile, are considered goats because they have straight hair. So when we look at this parable here in Matthew 7:6, Jesus is telling them that you must first take the beam out of your own eye. Why is this singular? Because it's talking about the same place that Jacob wrestled with the angel and sees God face to face. So when Jesus is talking about a reference to the eye, when he says, if your eye be single, then how great is the light that is in you? But if that light that is within you is darkness, then how great is that darkness that is in you? All right, it's almost the same reference as this one here, that Jacob wrestles with God. Okay, we're going to read from 22 down to 30 real quickly. That night Jacob got up and took his 2 wives, his 2 female servants, and his 11 sons, and crossed the ford of Jabbok. After he had sent them across the stream, he sent over all his possessions. So Jacob was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until daybreak. Right here. And a man. Okay. And now, depending on which Bible you're reading, let me show you what I mean. Genesis chapter 30, verse 24, Bible Hub. Pretty sure this is, it's my mistake. Sorry about that. It's 32. You stick around at this channel here, folks, and the content, I guarantee you. Okay, I've had over 15,000 people that have subscribed to my channel since I started in 4 years. Look at the numbers. So Jacob was left alone, and there was a man wrestled with him until daybreak. Okay? Wrestled with him until daybreak. A man came and wrestled with him till daybreak. But what does what does Jacob say? When the man saw that he could not overpower Jacob, he struck the socket of Jacob's hip and dislocated it as they wrestled. This is why Jacob has a limp, is because his socket. Then the man said, "Let me go, for it is daybreak." The man said, "Let me go, it's daybreak. I got to get out of here, man. The sun's coming up." But Jacob said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." So Jacob is wrestling with a man, and he's requiring a blessing from a man that he doesn't even know, that he's never met. The man asked him, "What is your name?" "Jacob," he answered. Then the man said, "Your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome." So Jacob struggled with God. Was this an internal struggle that's taking place? This is a reference to the pineal gland that we're talking about, which is the eye, the lamp of the eye. So here at Matthew 6:22, it tells us the eye, once again, is the lamp of the body. Well, why do they use this lamp? The eye is the lamp. What are they talking about? Now, what's really strange to me is that when you talk to a Christian about the pineal gland or the pineal gland, because they're both one and the same, whether you understand that or not. But the pineal gland is the light. It's a single light. Now you look at this picture, you can clearly see that they're offering that up as an illuminated gland. All right? And this is the eye of the lamp that Jesus speaks about in 6:22 of Matthew. The eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are good, your whole body will be full of light. So he uses a reference of eye. This is how they put the truth and duality. The eye, when we're single and we are connected to source, is one. If your eyes, they see the duality of this world, are good, your whole body will be full of light. And where does light come from? It comes from source. It comes from the Supreme Creator, something that is outside this reality that we live in. You see, there was a war in heaven, and whatever was in heaven with the Creator, the Spirit, was cast down to this plane of existence. It tells us that in Genesis chapter 1, verse 2, Bible Hub. So, in the beginning here, as God created the heaven and earth, the beginning is time, which is 60 seconds, 60 minutes, and 24 hours. 2 plus 4 is 6. Time is the beginning construct. So, the Supreme Creator doesn't have a beginning. The Supreme Creator doesn't have an end. So, something that has a beginning was something that was created by the Supreme Creator. The message that Yeshua is trying to deliver to Israel is that you are the light. Okay? The Bible tells us in scriptures that the God of Israel is going to be the one that destroyed the Gentile. And he's going to destroy his own children, those that strayed, didn't follow his commandments, and chose to worship pagan idols. So when God creates the heaven and earth, it says now the earth was formless and void and darkness. Darkness in this parable here. Let me see, make sure that we're all the way over so you can see it. I hope you can see that anyways. Darkness in this parable here means from Chashak, the dark, hence darkness, figuratively, misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, and wickedness. So, when it says here, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the surface of the water. Well, if there's only one Spirit, there's only one Creator, then it's the Supreme Creator Spirit that's hovering over the water. Well, the problem is it's telling us that whatever is hovering over the water is darkness. So, Israel has been taught all their life that their God is one God. Christianity has created a Trinity God within the Bibles. Which brings me back to, thought that I had it open here. Do not give dogs. Should have said it, a dog. Do not give a dog what is holy. What is holy? The scriptures. I think that this should have a W in front of it and another L. Do not give dogs what is holy, as in the Holy Scriptures, the entire book that was written by the Israelites, by the law of Moses that was given. Do not throw your pearls before swine. Now, these are metaphors, folks. So when it tells you a pearl from Magaris, a pearl, it's talking like a pearl that you'd pull out of a clam, you know, a black pearl, white pearl. Ain't it amazing that Johnny Depp did a movie, Pirates of the Caribbean, and within that movie they called the ship the Black Pearl? Truth bomb. You see, Hollywood, folks, is telling us the truth. Images of the sign Hollywood. So Hollywood is basically what witches and warlocks use to cast spells. This is what the television's for. It's casting. And it's casting these demons' vision. These demons are television, telling you their vision of this world that we live in. And this is what it means. Hollywood is a hollow piece of wood. What is Hollywood? What is Hollywood made out of? Come on. Give me 1 second. So here, the city of Hollywood got its name from a shrub called Tyon, Heteromoelis arbustifolia, also known as California holly, Christmas berry, or Hollywood. So the reason why they use this is because, you know, I guess you would say in their they're fiction and non-fiction type movies that they use Hollywood as a wand in Harry Potter. That's exactly what Hollywood is. That's what they make their wands out of. So when you take that into consideration and you take the picture, images of the sign Hollywood. So the parable, again, 13:18 of Revelations tells us here's a call for wisdom. Might as well pull it up. Revelations chapter 13, verse 18, Bible Hub. Here's a call for wisdom, which is feminine, Sophius. Wisdom, insight, or divine. Human or divine. Okay, what does that mean when it says human or divine? Divine isn't what you think it is. Divine is a separation. Because divi, D-I-V-I, means to divide portions. So to be divine means that you are no longer connected to source. But to be human means that you're a spiritual being. And then when we look at the word insight, specifically it tells us that it is mind. By implication, it's the mind. This world, as we view it, is made up of a mind. That's what spirit is. Now, there's a difference between spiritual and natural. There are two different types of creations. Corinthians chapter 15, verse 45, Bible Hub. And the reason why I use Bible Hub, folks, is because I don't always understand what a parable's saying, but when you read enough different versions of it, eventually you're going to probably read one that, resonates with you. And then all of a sudden, hey, I understand what that parable's saying now. So it's important to read many versions because the Bible's been cut up into pieces. It's been hijacked from these people here who have trampled your pearls. These people here have trampled your pearls and what was holy to you under their feet. And then they turned and they've torn you into pieces. And they've displaced you all over the world. There's an awakening that's taking place. It's happening. The Gentiles' time has ended. The time of the commoner, the common man, common woman, those that they've tricked you with by voting into this system. We the people. Okay? We the people means the common people. We're the ones who are supposed to be running the world. We the people. But somehow or another, our politicians turned it around on us, and where they're supposed to be servants to we the people, have made we the people their servants, taxing us, taking away our food source, taking away water, creating dams, making water go in one direction will starve another place of the water. And these people, they don't care. So once you've cast your pearls before the swine, what are the swine? The swine are unbelievers. Those that are Gentile. The swine our beast. I was talking to my neighbor this morning. We hadn't talked with each other. My old boss, who we haven't spoke for probably about 3 or 4 months. And every time I mention 666 to him, he wants to divert, misdirect, misguide, bring up a different subject, point something else out. Nobody wants to hear about this amazement. What does amazement mean? It means to amaze the mind. We are in an amazing place. See, the word ment, M-E-N-T, comes from the Latin word mente. And mente means the mind. And I just showed you that insight comes from the mind. Everything as we see in its perspective comes from the mind. It's an incredible feeling when the Supreme Creator blesses you with something that you've never understood or seen before. So when it says here, the first man became a living being, the last man a life-giving spirit. The spirit, however, was not first, but the natural, then the spiritual. You see, God created the natural man first. Satan, if I was to say, is more of the flesh suit. And it's not just one person, but it's multitudes of people. It's a hive. It's always been a hive. Genesis chapter 1, verse 25, Bible Hub. God made the beasts of the earth according to their kinds. The beasts of the earth, as Christians will teach you, are lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, this is a lie. It is not the truth. Christians, ministers, have placed the beasts next to the livestock. And this is where you're getting confused. Because the livestock are all the wild animals that live in the wild animal kingdom. They're the wildebeests. They're the bulls. They're the lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. Okay? The beasts of the earth, according to their kinds, images of troops marching in ranks. These are your beasts of the field, each according to their kinds. Americans, Australians, Canadians, Japanese, Chinese, Russians, Italians, free nations, all of them. It's very easy to understand because, look, this is why I show scriptures. I think I pulled it up already. This is why I share the scriptures, okay? Because it takes wisdom and insight. And it's telling us in this case here that we have to calculate. In order to calculate, that means we got to use something by a binary system, something with numbers in it. So what is something with numbers? Well, right here, it's a perfect example. Something with numbers. Sorry about that. A number total. So we have to calculate through a number. Okay, so what I want you to understand is before letters were ever created, numbers were what was created. This is a binary system. Those slave masters who have us under their thumb are very, very big on numbers. They literally believe that this plane of existence as it is was built on numbers. I don't believe that personally myself. Of course, I don't teach anything that I don't know. There's a difference. If I don't know something, then I'm going to tell you I don't know. It's that simple. I'm not going to be arrogant. I'm not going to try to tell you something that I don't know anything about. If there's a parable that you ever ask me about and I don't know, I'll find somebody that does know. Or I'll find the answer myself. Okay, so we got beast here. Okay? The one with insight of the mind, which can only come from source, has to calculate the number of the beast. The number of the beast. Well, when's the very first time that beast is used in the Bible? Let's see. Let's take a look. That's not it either. That's the beast of the earth. Looking for a particular one. We don't need that one anymore. Guess that I don't have it up. I thought I had it up. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, Bible Hub. Okay, now I pulled up the parable over here in Genesis, the one that I wanted to talk about, but I want to close out this parable here where I said, Jacob replied, I will not let you go unless you bless me. The man asked him, what is your name? Then the man said, Jacob answered, he answered. Then the man said, your name will no longer be Jacob. Well, hold on. Jacob said to him that I will not let you go unless you bless me. Then the man asked him, what is your name? Jacob, he answered. Then the man said, your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God. So Jacob struggled with God and with human. So Jacob has struggled with his own clan, with his own people. And source here in this case would say that, and you have overcome. The key here is he struggled with God. He struggled with his human self. You got to understand that those that are in power consider themselves gods. Okay? So, this man here, this God, creates man in an image. So God creates man in his own image. Can you see that? 6754 Basalamo. From an unused root meaning to shade a phantom. Now, this is where things really get a little bit twisted. Dictionary.com. Because in this case, I like to use thesaurus. And that God that creates himself in an image, it says, is a phantom. And a phantom in a ghost. A phantom is the figment of our imagination. Look at the words as I fan through these, okay? Okay, listen to the words and look at what they're saying. Is there a word inside of a word that makes a change that is a split tongue? So, it's a ghost or an apparition. A mirage. It's an illusion. So, the God that created himself in an image is an illusion. So, if there's only one God, the Supreme Spirit, And he's telling us here in Genesis 1:27 that a God, so this is Elohim, plural of Eloah, gods in the ordinary sense, ordinary. And you know the word ordinary and extraordinary are one and the same. There's no difference between the two other than what we've been taught. To me, when I hear extraordinary, I just think that it means that you're just an ordinary person, just like anyone else, maybe just a little bit more extraordinary. It's not really a compliment to be told that you're extraordinary, because it's all wordcraft. So this God Elohim, which is what I say, me personally, myself, I think that these are primordial gods. I think that these are apparitions. I think that these are ghosts. I think that these are something that were created already, that have fallen from grace, which were down here on this plane of existence. These are the people that created a time construct, the Elohim. The Elohim could very well be demons, as I said, primordial gods, thousands and thousands of years ago. So Elohim created man in his own image. See, the supreme creator never created himself in an image. How do I know this? Exodus chapter 20, verse 4, Bible Hub. Prohibits making graven images. Let me say that again. Exodus 24 prohibits making any graven image or likeness of anything in heaven above, the earth beneath, or the waters below. It also says, you shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything. So now we know that an idol is an image. An idol is from Paka, and it is an idol, as in images of American Idol. The truth, folks, is right in front of your face. These people are idols. You idolize them, you worship them, you give praise to them, you give glory to them, you think how wonderful they are, how perfect they are, how you could wish you could be like them, all of that. Believe me, these are not anybody that you want to be like. These people sell their soul. This is the hive. These people are the demons in flesh suits. Okay? Well, the truth is, we're all the demons. It's us. And those primordial gods that were permitted, which were given power to rule, because the Supreme Spirit says that this world has been turned over to the hands of the wicked. The world has been turned over to the hands of the wicked. Okay, so if this earth is given into the hands of the wicked, ask yourself this question with a clear mind. Try to remove the scales from your eyes. If this world here was turned over to the hands of the wicked, meaning those in power, those that rule, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, Bible Hub, where it tells us, for our struggles is not against flesh and blood. Our struggles is not against the flesh and blood. The flesh and blood is natural. Flesh and blood is not spiritual. Spiritual here, the spiritual, however, was not first, but the natural, and then the spiritual. So what's being said here in the Bible? It's telling us that there's one creation that came first, the beasts of the earth. These people here are the beasts of the earth. These are the beasts of the earth. Where are you at? These people that are in Hollywood, 3 O's. O's the 15th letter of the alphabet. 1 plus 5 is 6. Hollywood represents 666. Hollywood is mankind. Pretty sure that I pulled it up already. Close out some of these windows. Give me 1 second, folks. Right here. These are the beasts of the earth, each according to their kinds. Images of the United Nations. And these. All the flags that fly at the United Nations. 193 nations sit at the United Nations. If we consider those at the United Nations as a pact against us, and you take the 7 fallen angels, because you have 7 good angels which wage war with those 7 dirty angels. I'll show you. So here, the 7 angels of Satan are often associated with the 7 deadly sins in religious and philosophical contexts. In religious and philosophical context. So when I look at the word religious, it's us. J-I from Latin to English is jinn, jai. The jinn is us. Here, let me give you another example. Religion. This is why the word legion or lie, the legions of religions. The legions of religion. I don't do religion. I do spiritual. You see, Christianity wants you to believe that the first man created and the second Adam, because this is what I'm showing you, is there's 2 Adams. The first man, Adam, became a living being, which isn't really true. It's living, but it's dead. Okay? This is why they call images of the corpus callosum. This is why right here, this here is a band of hundreds and hundreds of millions of almost plastio. That's almost like what they use in fibers like this. Here, let me pull a picture up for you. I forgot this is a new computer I'm using, so I don't have that picture on my phone, but I do have this one here. You see, this is a quantum computer. And if you notice, it's built from the top down. It hangs from a ceiling. It's almost the exact same thing as a hive, a beehive. A queen, when she builds her hive, she's at the top level of the hive. So when a queen builds her hive, the queen is always at the top, up here somewhere. All right? This one here would probably be the best example that I'm talking about. The bees come into the hole here, and each layer, these ants are in warrior positions and stuff. All right? And then you get up here into the generals in your military. The queen gives the command from this top tier. All right? And then she does whatever the queen does with her wings, however she communicates to the other flies. If there's an invasion or wasps that are coming in, there is a lot that a hive has to contend with in nature. And the biggest destroyer of these beautiful hives is mankind. Mankind that was created on the 6th day. They are the destroyers. You see, what you got to understand is that Satan was the musketeer. And this is where you're getting your story of the Pied Piper. You see, they're telling us the truth in nursery rhymes, music industry, Hollywood. They drop you some political truth bombs on, debates and stuff like that. They're telling you, they're telling you that they use registration votes from people that are dead. Okay, this has always been going on, folks. Now, I'd like to play this song for you, but sadly I can't. So if you want to go and listen to this song, it's very enlightening. And it starts with, the world is a vampire sent to drain, secret destroyer, right there. They're the mankind here, created on the 6th day of creation, has everything to do with the Revelation 13:18. Here's the call for wisdom. Let the one with insight calculate the number of the beast, for it's the number of a man, and his number is 666. Okay, the Revelation is telling us the truth. What's happening, what we're not understanding, is the Bible's a riddle, folks. It's written in many, many riddles. So 666 has to deal with the 6th day of creation because it talks about a beast. This is the very first time that beast is used in the Bible. Genesis 25. All right. And then it talks about a man. So now you have the beast and a man that are connecting you to Revelations 13:18. And then you have the 6th day of creation. When was Massachusetts designated into the United States? Okay, there we go. Massachusetts became a state on February 6th and was the 6th state to join the United States. February 6th, 1788, 1 plus 7 is 8, plus 8 plus 8 is 24. When you break that down, 24, it comes to 6. 2 plus 4 is 6. Massachusetts is 666. Nobody wants to hear this information. Gematria calculator. This is why Gematria calculator. This is why I know what I'm teaching is accurate and true, because people want to get away from me when I start sharing this stuff. So a president, as in Donald Trump, who's president, and they want to open it up for 3 terms now, by the way. You open it up for 3 terms, the next thing, this is why everybody's saying King Donald. King Donald. Okay? Well, a president in English Gematria is 666. Okay, and if you're wondering how gematria, English gematria works, it's each letter is assigned by the number 6. So A would be 6, B would be 12, C would be 18, D would be 24, E would be 30, and so on, all the way through A to Z. You count in increments of 6. That's English gematria. Simple gematria is A through Z, 1 through 26. Nothing difficult about that. Okay? So a president is 666. I've been telling people that the language we speak are words, split tongue language, division. You see, the only way that Satan can conquer is to split us up in worlds. He didn't like the fact that everybody was coming together and working in unison, building a tower to the sky. So what does the Creator do? He changes up their language so that they can't speak with one another anymore. And that's the story that we've been told. So, excuse me, didn't mean to do that. Okay. So a president in English, or simple English gematria, is 666. And then you have a president who is who? Who's our president? Donald J. Trump. Now, I keep telling people that you have to use the insight that comes from Spirit. I don't claim any glory at all to anything that has been bestowed upon me. Everything that I speak is to the glory of the Spirit of truth, the living one. So Donald J. Trump in English gematria is 666. Donald J. Trump is a president, 666. Joe Biden, beast. So this is pointing to both sides. It's not, you don't get to just type a name in and find out who it is. You have to use key phrases, keywords. So Joe Biden, beast, 666. Okay. So we have a lot of connections here to 666. One other that I like to throw out at you before I cut out of here is a vaccination. A vaccination is what? It's a drug, right? That they're injecting us with. Right? And I can tell you, anybody that's taken the vaccination doesn't like it when somebody like me comes up and says, "Hey, did you know that vaccination in English gematria is 666? They start squirming, or their eyes will start blinking, or they'll be taking a download. They'll be wanting to get away from me. Whatever it is, they just don't want to hear the information. Look, the Bible's very clear and plain. It says that if you want to know what's around you that is good, then talk about God. If they want to get away from you, then they're not of God. They're not from the light. They're something else. And this is why it takes wisdom and insight to calculate the number of the beast. So you do have to, I mean, this information, this content here was not ever given to Israel. Israel had their own book. Israel, the holy book that Israel had, was written by Israelites for Israelites. And then along came, the deal was between Iblis, Lucifer, Satan, the beast, the dragon, call him whatever you want. The deal was that the first creation, Satan, who's a musician who used to sing praise and glory to God, started feeling pride. And pride was the cause of the fall. because God had made him such a loved creation, such a beautiful person. I mean, gorgeous man. And it's this entity, this angel, this fallen angel, that fell into a time construct. I pulled that up too. I want to look at that real quick too. Let's see. Let's get rid of that one. Those are the beast nations right there. These are the beast nations right here. In case you didn't know, that's a flat earth map at the United Nations. They got a flat earth map at the United Nations. Why do you suppose that is? Truth bomb right in front of you. You guys can't see it. So the 7 angels traditionally recognized in Christianity, Judaism, and some branches of Islam include Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Sariel, Regiel, and Remiel. And notice each one of these names all have L in them. 410 of the Strong's Concordance. How did I get there to that? Oh, hit the wrong one. That's Greek. L, translated A-L-E. Imagine that. A-L-E is what? That's a brand of alcohol. Craziness. So God, the Supreme, the Almighty, that's what this is. It's the Almighty. L is the Almighty. And the phonetic spelling for L is a spirit by alcohol. And Al and L, duality, A and E. What's running this world? AI, right? What's AI? AI is a computer, folks. And a computer is 666. And the Bible is telling us in 2 Corinthians 2:11, in order that Satan might not outwit us, for we are not unaware of his schemes. I'm going to have to take you here to Bible Hub. Which tells us in the King James Bible, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we're not ignorant of his devices. This is why it's important for you to read multiple versions of the book. See, because I would have never, if I read this parable here and I look at schemes, I would never be able to put schemes together as a computer device. But I can definitely put it on a computer on a device, because these here images of CERN are Satan's device. Okay, this is a 17-mile circular tubing where they launch an atom going one direction, right? And it's all done by these tubings here. These tubings are a magnetic field, folks. All right? And we, us, all of us, are magnetic people. So it's important to know that the God here that creates him, where are you at? Him, this God Elohim, creates man in his own image. Okay, I just showed you that an image is a phantom. It's an illusion. It's a ghost. It's a figment of the imagination. The figment of the imagination, huh? Imagination. The imagination is the power to create in one's mind. So, the God that creates himself in an image is telling you, I'm a mage. What's a mage? Definition of mage? It's a magician. Whatever this is, on the sixth day of creation that creates itself in an image, is a magic trick. This is why you have M-A-G-I in magician, because when Donald Trump was screaming out MAGA, make America great again, MAGA means magus, and magus, it means magician. And again, magician has M-A-G-I in it, and that is the true meaning of MAGA. See, they speak in codes that none of us, well, I understand now, but it's on you whether you're going to hear this information or not. A friend of mine told me, because I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost all my friends. All but one person still talks to me today. Of all my friends, of all my family, one person, my daughter, talks to me today. Her husband talks to me today. Kids, my grandkids, they're kind of standoffish. You know, they're just now starting to come into life. You know, starting their own. They're with their own egos. So, the God that creates himself on the sixth day, because this is what it's telling us. God made beasts of the earth according to their kind on the sixth day of creation. This God Elohim. Now, the Lord, our God, means the Lord Yahweh, our Elohim. Elohim to me are fallen angels. They're the watchers. They're what correct us. They're what's of evil. The Creator created both good and evil. The Bible is telling us that Elohim, the God Elohim, plural of Eloah, are gods in the ordinary sense. They're ordinary gods, but specifically used of the supreme God. Didn't Jesus try to tell us that we were gods, or that we are like God, knowing good from evil? Is it not written in your law that I've said you're gods? He was crucified for that. He was hung on that tree for saying that him and the Creator are one. That's what he was trying to explain to each of us, is that we got to take care of our business. It's that simple. Anyways, I hope this helped you. Blessings to you, your families, to the children of Israel. Blessings to the Gentile that wish to change their life and turn back to the rightful worship of one God. Trinity God, as we've been taught, is the devil. I can prove it in scriptures. I didn't touch anything. It's been such a long time. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to remember where the parables were, but I did just fine. So the big parables to pay attention here on today's lesson was, oh, that one's a good one. L. Oh, yeah, before I hang up. There's one other thing I wanted to show you. I meant to show you this when I showed you the word vaccination in English Gematria. This is a big one too. Give me a second. I'm rolling through my phone here looking for it. Where are you at? Right here. Can you see that? It says that pharmakia comes from pharmacist comes from pharmakia. Pharmakia changed to pharmacist, to pharmacy. Originally, it was spelt with an F-A-R-M. Right here, the phonetic spelling for pharmakia, was spelt with the F-A-R, the phonetic spelling. Translation is pharmakia. And this is why they changed the F sound to PH. Pharmacy, pharmacia. And the reason why they changed it like that is because harm is in the word pharmakia, pharmacy. And the definition is sorcery and witchcraft. It's medication, that is, by extension, magic, literally or figuratively. The use or the administration of drugs. Pharmacy is a poisoning. And sorcery, magical, arts, often found in connection with idolatry. Fostering idolatry. Okay, you're never going to get from a Christian minister just what you've heard here today. Those on the sixth day have grafted themselves into the Bible. It also says that the Jews shall be a light unto the Gentile. The Bible plainly tells us that the entire duty in existence of both man and mankind is to fear God and keep his commandments. Now, I used to ask the same questions that I'm sure that a lot of other Christians like to ask. And that question would be is, why would God turn the world over to the hands of the wicked? You see, the Spirit, the supreme creator, the Spirit, I should say, he or she, I don't really know. The Spirit is just Spirit. You can't really say what the Spirit is, and the Spirit's telling you that you can't say what he is because he tells you plainly that I'm not a man. But wait, why doesn't it say that I'm not a man or a woman? These are big-ass questions I've been asking the ministers for a long time. You learn this content on this channel and then you go out to talk to people, you'll see exactly what kind of battle that we are in. We are in a battle for your soul. Everyday battle. And it starts with the mind. All praise and glory to the Most High, the Spirit of truth, the living one. The all you can see and all you cannot see, the Almighty. There is none like our Creator. Have a blessed day. This is White Raptor News Ministries.